Now, police unions are slamming the Black Lives Matter chapter in Washington, D.C. after the group complained that cops who are shot in the line of duty are automatically treated as heroes. You heard that right. And this was right after a D.C. cop was shot on Sunday night that the city's BLM chapter tweeted this as it warned against what it calls propaganda. This is the point we've been making for months, the chapter wrote. Look at the reaction and coverage tonight. Tearjerker press conferences and proclamations of heroes coming soon. Imagine if people knew these folks' names. Being black in D.C. is more dangerous than any job. The head of Houston's police union tells Fox News he's not surprised. Quote, "It's nothing new for them. As far as I'm concerned, they're irrelevant," he says. "Most people see through their, for lack of a better term, BS. It's all about money for them. They've proven that time and time again, they really don't care about black lives. If that was the case, they would be out there protesting all shootings, not just those by police. It's silly to even give them credit for anything, knowing what their agenda is." Kennedy, it's frankly difficult for me even to just read the horrific sentiment coming out of that chapter. Your thoughts, Kennedy?
Yeah, and if you're worried about preserving lives, then work with law enforcement. You know, it's like I look at some of these people who respond to these calls. You know, domestic violence calls can be some of the most deadly. And, you know, they know what they're getting into. They know when they wear the badge that they are going into situations where they are targeted. And, you know, BLM has been a large part of that, demonizing the police. So if you want to preserve life, and that should be the aim for everybody, not just cops. And, of course, there are ways to clean up police departments and get rid of bad cops and make sure that you have good people on the street who are engaging with the community. That is what we should all want. But it goes back to respecting and protecting lives. It is dangerous to be black in places like Chicago and D.C. It's very dangerous, and we should be protecting kids who are getting hit by stray bullets and stop with the division. It's not making anything better.
That's exactly right. And Kaylee, meanwhile, the collateral damage is just as frightening as cops losing their lives in the line of duty. We now know that in Baltimore, for example, after a study for the past 5 years, children, the leading cause of death for them in unusual or unnatural circumstances is homicide for children.
It's such a tragedy, and we highlight their names on the show. We say them, Sequoia Turner, among many other children. But I want to say this, the administration, they have a responsibility right now. Justin Haskins wrote a great op-ed on foxnews.com. I'd suggest everyone read it. The title says it all. While Democrats called for defunding police, officers were killed at a high rate. And he takes us through the numbers. And one of the things I heard the press secretary say, she says it often when asked about crime, she said, when did crime start going up? Well, it started going up in 2020. That President Trump was president then. Yes, but why did crime start going up? Why are we seeing homicides at this rate? It dovetailed, as Justin points out exactly, with the defund the police movement. It dovetailed with candidate Joe Biden being very wishy-washy on defund the police, at one point saying, yes, absolutely, I support redirecting funds. So to get elected, he kind of flirted with the defund the police movement. Now it's his responsibility to call out the defund the police movement. I don't mean one time from the podium. Give national addresses on crime. Go around the country. Do listening sessions with these families. You are a part of why we're here. Now go fix it.
Julie, Kennedy mentioned the community of which officers are a part. And just on Friday night, when tragically Officer Jason Rivera was shot and killed in an ambush responding to a DV call, he had written a letter of intent discussing just that, saying that the reason he wanted to become a police officer was to foster that relationship, to build the community up, and to build that bridge between law enforcement and the community, because they are the same thing. And now he has lost his life. And you know what? He is a hero. I call him a hero, and I know you all do too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for Black Lives Matter to actually say that a cop that was responding to a domestic violence call because he was there to protect somebody, a citizen of the community, not a hero, he lost his life because the mother of some thug who's got a criminal rap sheet longer than I could list in this program, okay? Bail reform got him out. He got to reoffend. He had 2 very dangerous weapons in his possession. His mother called the police for help. This was an African-American family that the police were going to help. And Black Lives Matter are now saying that this guy wasn't a hero for going to protect a black citizen of Harlem. It just makes absolutely no sense. So for Black Lives Matter to come out here and once again throw hate at our cops who are trying to do good, and this guy, like you just said, this officer, rookie officer, 22 years old, his one dream in life was to become a police officer. He enlisted into the NYPD, which he called the greatest police department in the country back in 2020 at the height of the pandemic when things are at its worst, because he wanted to help unite communities. And it's a slap in the face for the Black Lives Matter community to actually put him down. I'm disgusted.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.